If you just know you're that girl,
Yeah.
you just have no choice but to be that girl. And I feel like I'm that girl.
Konnichiwa. So I have previously told you where to go to designer thrift shop in Tokyo, Japan. However, I have just gotten back from a 2-week trip in Japan, and this time I went to Fukuoka to design shop. And let me just tell you, I think that shopping in Tokyo is ruined because the shopping in Fukuoka was insane. Let me just give you a preview of what I came back with. I came back with at least 3 bags, 2 coats, 3 pairs of shoes, and more. Of course, I'll unbox and show you what I got as I explain where to go. I do also want to touch on Tokyo thrift shopping for just a quick second because I did in fact go to Tokyo thrifting area on this trip, and it was a little different. In Tokyo, the area that is known for thrifting is called Shimogawa. And I was there about a year to a year and a half ago, and my experience was very different. A year ago, it seemed like there were bargains left and right on absolute gems of vintage pieces. But this time I noticed that it was that vintage look, but it was super expensive. Like every item was over $100. And it was interesting because I had this thought, and then this TikTok showed up on my For You page that I thought summed it up perfectly.
If you're not ready to hear about the reality of thrifting in Japan, then keep scrolling, because thrifting has turned more into tailored vintage shopping rather than actual thrifting.
It just felt like US prices. I don't know. I just was like, am I in Free People or Revolve or something? Anyways, I didn't walk away with anything from Tokyo this time. Now on to Fukuoka. I will be giving the exact locations that I had luck in. So if you do plan on looking into and using these locations, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a subscribe and like so that you can boost my newest channel. Fukuoka is a lesser known, lesser visited area of Japan, so it is actually nestled on the coast of northern Kyushu. And I actually chose to go here on this trip because we were going around Christmas time and I knew that they had Christmas markets. I'll play a few clips of those. So they actually had 2 main Christmas markets and they were actually walkable in between each other, which was really nice. But I will say that the Christmas market was heavily European style, which I didn't know ahead of time. I thought it would be more of a Japan twist, but it was still really cool to see their take on a Christmas market. Just like Tokyo, Fukuoka has the little neighborhoods and boroughs within it. So if you were to Google where to thrift in Fukuoka, Daimo is probably going to pop up as the area you should go to. But be warned, in my opinion, it is just like Shimogawa, where it is very expensive. Everything's going to be at least $100. But I will say that everywhere looks like an absolute vintage fashion museum. Like the pieces are so cool, so unique, such gems. However, you're going to pay for it, and it's not going to be like, ooh, bargain, I came to Japan to save money. However, Daimo is a very trendy, cute area. I would highly recommend you go visit anyways and look at the pieces because like I said, it feels like you're in a museum. I walked across a lot of restaurants, coffee shops, bars, so I would still recommend it. And actually, it is where one of the locations that I found luck in was. I'm going to disclose where 3 locations that I found luck were, and I'm going to save the best for last. So that means that my 3rd best location is going to be in Daimo, and that location is going to be 2nd Street. And I am going to put the addresses on the board, that way you can search them in Google Maps. This one is 2 stories with women's clothing being on the bottom floor and men's clothing being on the top. However, no matter what gender you identify as, I would suggest looking in both genders everywhere you go in Japan. Japan has such great style, and one thing you'll notice if you go is that the style is very unisex or ambiguous. Like the women are not afraid to wear baggy cargo pants and knitwear, and then the men are not afraid to spice their outfits up with designer bags or belts. You'll see if you go shopping that you'll see men in the women's section, women in the men's section, like seriously shopping. It was very inspiring because, yeah, why do we have these barriers when fashion would be greater if we mixed it up? I myself found great success in the men's section on this trip, and in fact, all of the designer pieces that I got at this location were in the men's floor. To start, I got these Supreme trainers. They came in box with extra shoelaces, and they were brand new. I mean, these creases, I made them because I wore them home, but they were completely brand new. You can see by even me wearing them, just completely spotless. They were $163. They're Air Force Ones for my sneakerheads. I also got this Supreme crossbody bag, minus the Sanrio plushie, which actually, funny story, I went to a coffee tasting and I got this at an arcade and just thrown it on. And I saw these girls staring at what I thought was my bag because I was wearing it right here. And I was like, oh, look, they're looking at my bag. And I could tell they wanted to say something. So I turned to the side and they were like, where did you get your, and I was like waiting for it to be the bag, and then they were asking about the Sanrio plushie. But this just saved me for the remainder of the trip because it's just so nice to know that your passport and your cards are literally on your body. And this was only $38. You can see the Supreme detailing here, and then of course right there. It has 2 zips. I know the leopard print isn't for everyone, but I fell in love. And again, men's section. The last piece of Supreme that I bought at this location was this Supreme beanie with the vintage Playboy logo. I know it's a little risque, but we've been traveling to colder places, and also we were going snowboarding later on in that trip, and I just thought it was cute. I don't know. So I got this for $37. Now on the women's floor, I got these basic black combat boots, brand new. I wore these ones. But it's just crazy to me how many brand new pieces are in these stores. And at first I thought they were Doc Martens. They're not, but they're a great dupe. And last but not least, I got these chunky sneakers. I love me a good chunky sneaker. Again, I know that's not for everyone, but I really have only seen these chunky sneakers and sandals when I travel to Japan, and then I cannot find them anywhere here. Like, it's such a regional style, and I wish we would adopt it. It's literally so annoying because I stopped a girl one trip when we were there and I asked her where she got those chunky sandals, and she told me it was Uniqlo. So I looked on the Japanese version of Uniqlo website because I was there, so my phone went to it and they had them. Then I was like, oh sweet, I'll just order them when I get home. Then I went home and then I was on the US version of Uniqlo and they're not there. Anyways, I got these for $14. The second location is also a second street. However, it is a super second street. Now this location isn't by anything touristy, so if you are super strapped for time, or if shopping isn't going to be like the focus of your trip, then I would suggest maybe staying towards the Daimo area. That way other people in your party would have the other things to do, or you could shop around, look around. But this place was huge and the prices were stupid. If I had infinite luggage space, I could have sourced my entire closet from this one place. They did have other things besides clothing and jewelry and bags. They also had like a lot of nice dishware, tech items, and I even walked away with a new snowboard and snow boots. We were gonna go snowboarding later on our trip, and I just keep renting. It just made sense to buy it so cheaply here. And also they had the snow bag that you can fly with. So I just did that, and now I never have to rent again. Even though this place was amazing, other than the snowboards, I only walked out with 2 pieces of jewelry actually. But that was honestly only because at this time, I just didn't have any more luggage space to get a bunch of clothes, sadly. So the 2 items I got were, first, I got these Louis Vuitton earrings. So they are gold and they are the little LV logo with the hoop in the back of the ear. And I actually love these even more now that I've gotten to play with them, because I've realized how versatile they are. So they're actually 3 pieces. Let me show you. You have the stud and of course the backing. But then you also have this third piece. So this is what creates the hoop effect in the back. But as you notice, you don't have to use this. So it can essentially just be a smaller stud. And I really like this because I actually have the larger studs, and I've often wished that they were a little less understated at times. So now I have a big and a small version. I'll show you the comparison. Yeah, so this is the big, and then this is what came with my hoop. This is what it looks like if I don't include that little hoop. It's just a nice little stud. I got the LV earrings for $240, which is about 50% off of retail. And then I also got this dainty little opal bracelet because That is my birthstone, and it was only, I think, $58. Correction, it was $56. Now the best location I found, let me tell you, it was off the beaten path, okay? I thought that I had gone an hour on a public bus and made the person I was with come with me, and I thought it was going to be seriously the biggest dud in history. Side note, do not be scared by public transport in Japan. It is absolutely amazing and super simple. My travel tip is to download Google Maps, and then all you have to do is search where you're going, and I'm giving you the addresses, so you'll just input the address and then go to the public transportation little tab on there. So they have like driving, then public transportation, then walking next to each other. So click that one and it'll tell you which bus to go to, how to get to the stop, which stops are in between, and where to get off. It's absolutely amazing. It takes a little practice, don't get me wrong, but you will get to where you need to go, and it's super inexpensive in Japan. And you can use your Suica card if you are familiar. I had dug through social media, found this location, so I was so excited to go. We get off the bus stop. We're in the literal middle of nowhere. It only looks like a residential area, like a small town. I'm from a small town, and it looked like my version of my hometown, but in Japan. I was like, how is this going to turn into a warehouse that has aisles of old Louis Vuitton bags? So once you stop at the bus stop, you do a little walk. And again, the whole entire time I'm kind of sweating because I am just getting ready to apologize to the person I'm with for making them come out here for nothing. But the walk was really cute as well because, again, you're seeing a little bit of, I wouldn't call it countryside because there wasn't a lot of nature, but it just doesn't look touristy, let me tell you that. So if you use this location and you get off and you're like, this doesn't seem right, it is. So I'm holding my breath and we turn the corner to where it's supposed to be, and thank goodness I see the huge warehouse with neon signs. Now, once you go in, it is 2 stories. The first story is going to be bags, jewelry, and I believe shoes, and also guitars. And once you go in, there is a ton of Louis Vuitton. I mean, there's a little bit of everything, but especially if you're a Louis Vuitton fan, there's a lot of that. The shoe section was great. I was with a guy, they found a lot of luck in that section. For me, there were a couple of things. I'm a size 8, but if you are smaller than that, if you are a size 6 or even a size 4 or 5, you'll probably have really nice luck here. It was really hard to choose because this was the first place that I went to shop, and I knew I needed to be conservative because I wanted to go to other places. So there were some items that I set down because I was like, I'm not gonna have room for all of this. And some of those decisions are haunting me today. For example, there was this beige and black Coco Chanel bag, and it was, I think, $500, which, yeah, you can't find that anywhere else. So I am sad about that one, but I think that that's one of my biggest regrets there. I think I was okay with all of the other decisions that I made. I also found another pair of Star Trail boots that looked brand new, and they were only like $400 or maybe $350, and I almost got them because I love these so much, and I am just, so I'm already pre-sad for when they die, basically. So I almost got them just to have another pair, but I was like, well, that's a little hoarder mentality. So I didn't. But anyways, on the first floor, I actually found this. I know it is not designer, but it is a Coach wallet. And the reason why I got it is because my mother gave this to me one time in my teens, I think for Valentine's Day, since there's hearts on it. And I wore this thing to death. And even when it was ready to die, and I'm a minimalist queen. I know it doesn't seem like it because I collect things, but outside of designer, my house is bare. I throw everything away that doesn't bring me joy. But when this died, I couldn't even bring myself to throw it away. I still have it mangled somewhere. But anyway, I found it brand new in the middle of Japan, and it was $7. So it went home with me. Now this is gonna be very controversial, what I got. And let me tell you, shut your mouth. No, I'm just kidding. But I know it's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. But when you hear the price, I think you'll understand. This is what I got from the first floor. So it is a red Louis Vuitton. I know it is very vintage. I see a lot of these on the resale market, but I thought that the condition was great. Like normally you see it all mangled and gross, but it's perfect. And it is like a reddish orange. If you could see it in person, it almost has like a shine to it. And the straps are in great condition. And then the inside is like untouched, basically. I think I would never really go for colors like this, but bold colors. But that is one change that I'm trying to make, is have a neutral closet and have pops of color. And this was only $124. So even if I get like really sick of it or I have any regrets, I have no doubts that I can resell this for the same or more. The next one is my favorite piece that I walked away with, I think. I don't know. It's between one piece that you haven't seen yet and this one. I'm obsessed. I have never seen this in my entire life. And at first I had seen this at the beginning and passed it, and then I ended up on that aisle at the very end when I was just making sure that I wasn't walking away with regrets, and I was like, I have to. Dun, 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 dun. So it is the same collection as the red. It's the same material, but in yellow. And look at this shape. How unique is this? Like, I'm sorry, but this is the coolest Louis Vuitton shape ever. Look at the top handle. I mean, you can't tell me you don't love this. You can't tell me. I was giddy over this the whole entire trip. Like, I would literally take it out of my luggage and mess up my luggage and just admire it. Absolute pride and joy. And I got this for just $208. So I got 2 Louis Vuitton bags for like $300. Yeah, I think I will be spending over this one for a while. Now, I know those prices because I took a video of the tag. However, the receipt for this entire location, I couldn't find it. So I'm a little fuzzy on the other prices for the things that I got here. So sorry about that. I thought I was done shopping, but I was like, let me just see what's on the second floor. I saw it was closed and I was like, ugh, because I never have luck with ready to wear, even though I won't. That's what I need the most. But started looking around, it was straight fire. Now this was the piece that I said rivals being one of my favorite pieces. And again, found in the men's section. I got this Supreme New York City landscape jacket. Oh, this just isn't gonna do it justice. I'm gonna have to do something on the side. But it has the New York landscape with the Empire State Building and a plane with the Supreme streamer, and it goes all the way on the front. It's kind of like that old-timey blanket fabric, but it is just too cool. I had to have it, and the person I was with was like, that's a no, dog, and I was like, no, I have to. Like, it's not negotiable. I just love the landscape and how the sky ombres. It's a true piece of art. I could care less if it had Supreme all over it. I really could. If it just had the skyline and the little plane, I would still be just as in love and have to have it. Next, I found this brown leather Givenchy jacket. It is so cool, so sexy on. I felt so good in this jacket. It was, so I don't know why I'm saying was. It is a little bit small. Like, honestly, I can't have it zipped up, but it looks so good opened that I had to walk away with it. It's just the perfect chocolate. The tag looks really old, but it's in great condition. And again, I love this jacket so much, could care less if it was Givenchy. It was just a beautiful jacket. There were several things in there that I loved and I would have wanted to take home, but it was just too small. But I tried real hard, but I knew it wasn't gonna happen. My bone structure, among other things, just like was not acting right. I did find some more beanies. Again, I needed a beanie going there because I didn't have one. I guess I threw my other one away and we were going snowboarding, as I've said, so this was the first one I found, which was just gonna be a necessity. It's just a plain Supreme, and it was $20. And I bought this one before the one that you've seen previously, so I was like, cool, check. I bought that because like a non-Supreme would have been $20 anyway, probably. And then I found this Louis Vuitton one, which it has the exact same logo as my earrings. I wish I had the silver ones now. It just was such a pretty gray, and this item was high-key, low-key, so expensive compared to my other pieces. Like this one for sure I know was $300 because I was like, dang, that's not really a bargain, even though it is 50% off retail. I thought long and hard on this one, and I almost didn't get it. But then whenever I checked out, it was literally so random because they did have the coloring system that a lot of thrifting places have. Like I know that I found out about this on Closet Go Round, which I love that creator and I love that channel. Shout out to Dre. But I learned about thrifting colors on her channel, and then I saw that they were doing it here. So if the tag is a certain color, then it's a certain percentage off. So I'll show that clip now. So that's something to look out for too, because you get additional savings. But the I know the Supreme jacket, and then there was like, I think my Givenchy jacket as well. The tags did not have colors on it. However, when I checked out, the lady told me, she was like, this one's 15% off and this one's 10% off or something like that. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice of you to tell me, because like I had no idea. And so she took that amount off, and anyways, somehow at the end my total was $300 cheaper than I thought it was going to be. So basically, girl math, I got the beanie for free, so I was really glad that I kept it. And then last, I got these YSL socks that came in the box. And the only reason I got these is because they were in like a little side bin with some old caps and stuff. And I'm not kidding you, I'm pretty sure that each of these was like $1.60. So I just got it for funsies. But the packaging is really cool. Pretty sure they're like men's dress socks, but you have Japanese in the writing. It's a little busted, but it doesn't matter. So let's open one. So we have YSL here. Yep, nice dress sock. And then these are the bottoms, and they're kind of sticky. I thought I would save the other pair for maybe a giveaway. Like I can put a little bundle of something together, but this can be one item that's in there. That was all I got out of the 3 locations. So I'm saying if you stick to those 3, you are sure to find something good. Again, if you found this useful, please give me a subscribe or at least a like. And I would love if you commented and tell me if you went there and you got anything that you loved. If you only found my channel because you are going to Fukuoka but you're not familiar with my channel, I do a lot of luxury unboxings and shop with me's. So if you are into that or styling in general, then I'll see you again.
If you just know you're that girl,
Yeah.
you just have no choice but to be that girl. And I feel like I'm that girl.